Oh.
Okay, we got plenty of claps in there.
We're all synced.
Yeah, we're all synced. Okay, so I'm just gonna borrow your microphone just for the start here. You guys ready? You guys ready? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this broadcast comes to you from the city. Listeners over the curving air have heard from furthest off frontiers of foreign hours, mountain time, ocean time of the islands, of waters after the islands. Some of them waking, where noon here is night there. Some, where noon is the first few stars they see, or the last one. For 3 days, the world has watched this city, not for the common occasions of brutal crime, or the usual violence of some sort or another, or coronations of kings, or popular festivals. No, for stranger and disturbing reasons. The resurrection from death and the tomb of a woman. Each day, for 3 days, there has come to the door of her tomb at noon a woman buried. The terror that stands at the shoulder of our time touches the cheek with this. The flesh winces. There have been other omens in other cities, but never of this sort, and never so credible. In a time like ours, seemings signify. Ours is a generation when dogs howl, skins crawl on the skull with its beast foreboding. All men now alive with us have feared. We have smelled the wind in the street that changes weather. We have seen the familiar room grow unfamiliar. The order of numbers alter the expectation. Cheat the expectant eye. The appearance defaults with us. Here in this city, the wall of the time cracks. We take you now to the great square of the city. Here on WJHS 91.5, we present to you the fall of the city.
We are here on the central plaza. We are well off to the eastward edge. There is a kind of terrace over the crowd here. It is precisely 4 minutes to 12. The crowd is enormous. There might be 10,000. There might be more. The whole square is faces. Opposite over the roofs are the mountains. It is quite clear there are birds circling. We think they are kites by the look. They are very high. The tomb is off to the right somewhere. We can't see for the great crowd. Close to us here are the cabinet ministers. They stand on a raised platform with awnings. The farmers' wives are squatting on the stones. Their children have fallen asleep on their shoulders. The heat is harsh. The light dazzles like metal. It dazes the air as the clang of a gong does. It is 1 minute to 12 now. There is still no sign. They are still waiting. No one doubts that she will come. No one doubts that she will speak too. 3 times she has not spoken. Now it is 12. Now they are rising. Now the whole plaza is rising. Fathers are lifting their small children. The plumbed fans on the platform are motionless. There is no sound but the shuffle of shoe leather. Now even the shoes are still. We can hear the hawks. It is quiet as that now. It is strange to see such throngs so silent. Nothing yet. Nothing has happened. Wait! There's a stir here to the right of us. They're turning their heads. The crowd turns. The cabinet ministers lean from their balcony. There's no sound, only turning.
The first, the waters rose with no wind.
Listen, that is she.
Then the stones of the temple kindled without flame or under maize leaves.
They see her beyond us. The crowd sees her.
Then there were cries in the night haze, words in once heard tongue, the air, wrestling above us at dawn with herons. Now it is I who must bring fear. I who am 4 days dead, the tears, still unshed for me, all of them. I for whom a child still calls at nightfall. Death is young in me to fear. My dress is kept still in the press of my bedchamber. No one has broken the dish of the dead woman. Nevertheless, I must speak painfully. I am to stand here in the sun and speak. The city of masterless men will take a master. There will be shouting then, blood after.
Blood after.
Blood after.
Blood after.
Do not ask what it means. I do not know, only sorrow and hope for it.
She is gone. No, they are still looking.
It is hard to return from the time past. I have come in the dream. We must learn to dream where crumbling of time, like the ash from a burnt string has. Stop for me. For you, the thread still burns. You take the feathery ash upon your fingers. You bring yourself from time past as it pleases you. It is hard to return to the old nearness. Harder to go again.
She is gone. We know because the crowd is closing. All we can see is the crowd closing. We hear the releasing of held breath, the weight shifting, the lifting of shoe leather. The stillness is broken as surface of water is broken, the sound circling from within outward. Small wonder they fear. Before the murders of the famous kings, before imperial cities burned and fell, the dead were said to show themselves and speak. When dead men came, disaster came. Presentiments that let the living on their own beds sleep on, woke dead men out of their death and gave them voices.
Mastermen, when shall it be? Mastermen will take a master. What she has said to us. When shall it be? Masterless men will take a master. Blood after.
Blood after. Blood after.
They are milling around us like cattle that smell death. The whole square is whirling and turning and shouting. One of the ministers raises his arms on the platform. No one's listening. Now they are sounding drums, trying to quiet them quietly. No, no. Something is happening. There in the far corner. A runner, a messenger, staggering. People are helping him. People are calling. He comes through the crowd. They are quieter. Only those on the far edge are still shouting. Listen. He's here by the ministers now. He is speaking.
There has come the conqueror. I am to tell you, I have raced over sea land. I have run over cane land. I have climbed over cone land. I have crossed over mountains. It was laid on my shoulders by shout and by chant, that standing by day and staying by night were not for my lot, till I came to the sight of you. Now I have come. Be warned of this conqueror. This one is dangerous. Word has outored him. East over sea across has all taken. Every country, no men are free there. Ears overhear them. Their words are their murderers. Judged before judgment, trial after trial, they die as do animals, offer their throats. As the goat to her slaughter, terror has taught them this. Now he is here. I tell you, beware of him. All doors are dangers. The warders of wealth will admit him by stealth. The lovers of men will invite him as a friend. The drinkers of blood will drum him in suddenly. Hope will unlatch to him, hopelessness open. I say and say truly, to all men in honesty, such as this conqueror, shame in his people, liquors of spittle, their lives are unspeakable. They're dying indecent. Watch, I have said to you.
They are leading him out. His legs give. Now he is gone in the crowd. They are silent. No one has spoken since his speaking. They stand still, circling the ministers. No one has spoken or called out. There is no stir at all, nor movement. Even the farthest have stood patiently. They wait, trusting the old men. They wait faithfully, trusting the answer. Now the huddle on the platform opens. A minister turns to them, raising his two arms.
Freemen of this nation, the persuasion of your wills against your wisdom is not dreamed of. We offer themes for your consideration. What is the surest defender of liberty? Is it not liberty? A free people resist by freedom, not locks, not blockhouses. The future is a mirror where the past marches to meet itself. Go armed towards arms, peaceful towards peace, free with music towards freedom. Face tomorrow with knives and tomorrow's a knife blade. Murder your foe and your foe will be murder. Even your friends suspected of false speaking. hands on the door at night, in the floorboard squeaking. Those who win by the spear are the spear toters. And what do they win? Spears. What else is there? If their hands let go, they have nothing to hold by. They are no more free than a paralytic propped against the tree is. With the armored man, the arm is held by the weapon. The man is worn by the knife.
I wish you could all see this as we do. The whole plaza full of these people, their colorful garments, the harsh sunlight, the water seller swinging enormous gourds, the orator there on the stone platform, the temple behind him, the high pyramid, the hawks overhead and the sky teetering, slow to the windward, swift to the downwind. The house is blind with the blank sun on them.
Once depend on iron for your freedom, and your freedom's iron. Once overcome your resistors with force, and your force will resist you. You will never be free of force, never of arms unarmed. Will the father return home, the lover to her loved, the mature man to his fruit orchard, walking at peace in that beauty, the years of his trees to assure him. Force is the greater enemy than his conqueror, a treacherous weapon. But nevertheless, my friends, there is a weapon. Weakness conquers. Against chainlessness who breaks, against walllessness who vaults, against forcelessness who forces. Against the feather of the thistle is blunted sharpest metal, no edge cuts seed fluff. This conqueror unresisted will conquer no longer, a posturer, beating his blows upon burdocks, shifting his guard against shadows. Snickers will sound among road menders, titters will be stifled by laundresses. Coarse guffaws among chambermaids, reddened with rage he will roar. He will sweat in his uniform foolishly. He will disappear. No one will hear of him. For there is a weapon. Reason and truth are that weapon. Let this conqueror come. Show him no hindrance. Suffer his flag and his drum. Words. Win.
There's a shout now. He's done. He's climbing down. A great speech. They're all smiling and pressing around him. The women are squatting in full sunlight. They're opening packages. Bread, we say by the look. Yes, bread. Bread wrapped between corn leaves. They're squatting to eat. They're quite contented and happy. Women are calling their men from the sunny stones. There are flutes sounding away, off. We can't see for the shifting and moving. Yes, there are flutes in the cool shadow. Children are dancing in intricate figures. Even a few old men are dancing. You'd say they never feared to see them dancing. That's odd. The music has stopped. There's something. It's a man there on the far side. He's pointing. He seems to be pointing back through the farthest street. The people are twisting and rising, bread in their fists. We can't see what it is. Wait. It's a messenger. It must be a messenger. Yes, it's a message. Another. Here he is at the turn of the street, trotting, his neck back at the nape. He looks tired. He winds through the crowd with his mouth open, laboring. People are offering water. He pushes away from them. Now he has to come to the stone steps, to the ministers. Stand by, we're edging in. Listen, he's leaning on the stone. He's speaking.
There has come the conqueror. I am to tell you, I have run over corn land. I have climbed over cone land. I have crossed over mountains. It was laid on my shoulders by Shal and by Shan, that standing by day and staying by night were not for my lot, till I came to the sight of you. Now I have come. I bear word. Beware of this conqueror. The fame of his story, like flame in the winter grass, widens before him. Beached on our shore, with the dawn over his shoulder. The lawns were still cold when he came to the sheep meadows. Sun could not keep with him, so was he forward. Fame is his sword. No man opposing him, still grows his glory. He needs neither foeman nor thickest of blows to gather his victories, nor a foe's match to earn him his battles. He brings his own enemy. He baggage with him his closet antagonist, his private opposer. He's setting him up at every road corner, a figure of horror with blood for his color. Fist for his hand, reek where he stands, hate for his heart, sneers for his mouth, clouts for his clothes, oaths if he speak. And he's knocking him down in every town square, till hair's on his blade and blood's all about, like dust in a drought. And the people are shouting, flowers, him flinging, music, him singing, and bringing him gold, and holding his heels, and feeling his thighs till their eyes start, and their hearts swell, and they're telling his praises like lays of the heroes and chiefs of antiquity. Such are his victories. So does he come. So he approaches. No man to conquer. Yet as a conqueror marches he forward, stands in your mountains, soon to descend you.
That touched them. That frightened them. Some of them point to the east hills. Some of them mock at the ministers. Freedom? Freedom for what? To die in a rat trap? They're frantic with anger and plain fear. They're sold out, they say. You can hear them. Down with the government. Down with the orators. Down with liberal learned minds. Down with the mouths and the loose tongues in them. Down with the lazy lot. They've sold us. We're sold out. Talking has done for us. They're boiling around us like mullet that smell shark. We can't move for the mob. They're crazy with terror.
God lovers, think of your gods, earth masters, taste your disasters, men, remember.
There's a voice over the crowd somewhere. They hear it. They're quieting down. It's the priests. We see them now. It's the priests on the pyramid. There might be 10 of them, black with their hair tangled. The smoke of their fire is flat in the quick wind. They stand in the thick of the smoke by the stone of the victims. Their knives catch in the steep sun.
Turn to your gods, rememberers.
They are shouting, listen.
Let the world be saved by surrendering the world. Not otherwise shall it be saved.
Turn to your gods, rememberers.
Let evil be overcome by the coming over evil. Let your hearts shall be elsewhere.
Turn to your gods, rememberers.
Turn to your gods, the conqueror cannot take you.
Turn to your gods.
The narrow dark will keep you.
Turn to your gods.
And God's house is no breaking.
Turn to your gods.
And God's silences sleep is.
Lay up your will with the gods.
Stones cannot still you.
Lay up your mind with the gods.
Blade cannot blind you.
Lay up your heart with the gods.
Danger departs from you.
It's a wonderful thing to see this crowd responding. Even the simplest citizens feel the emotion. There's hardly a sound now in the square. It's wonderful, really impressive. The priests there on the pyramid, the smoke blowing, the bright sun, the faces.
In the day of confusion, of reason, when all is delusion, in the day of triumphs, when the truth is for hire, in the day of deceit, when ends meet.
Turn to your gods.
In the day of division of nations, when hope is derision, in the day of supping of hate, when the soul is corrupted, in the day of despair, when the heart's bare.
Turn to your gods.
A kind of dance is beginning, a serpent of people, a current of people coiling and curling through people, a circling of people through people like water through water.
The sun, out of the shout of the thunder, out of the hush of the star, withdraw the heart.
A very young girl is leading them. They have torn the shawl from her bare breast. They are giving her flowers. Her mouth laughs. Her eyes are not laughing.
Now the
air,
to the sword and sword wear, due to the marksman the mark, withdraw the heart. She's coming. The drums pound. The crowd shrieks. She's reaching the temple. She's climbing in. Others are following. 5, 10, hundreds are following, crowding the stairway. She's almost there. The flowers have fallen. She looks back. The priests are surrounding her. Wait, something has happened. One of the ministers, one of the oldest, the general, the one in the feathered coat, he's driving them down with the staff of a banner. He's climbed after them, driving them down. They're shouting and yelling enough, but they're going. He's telling them off too. You can hear him.
Men! Old men! Listen! Twist your necks on your nape bones. The knife will wait in the fist for you.
What is he talking about?
There is a time for everything. Time to be thinking of heaven.
Me.
Time of your own skins.
He's a little dramatic.
Cock your eyes to the wind windward. Do you see smoke on those mountains? The smoke is the smoke of towns. And who makes it? The conqueror. And where will he march now? Onward. The heel of the future descends on you.
He has them now. Even the priests have seen it. They're all looking away, here to the east. There's smoke, too, filling the valleys, like thunderheads.
You are foolish, old men. You ought to be flogged for your foolishness. Your grandfathers died to be free, and you juggle with freedom. Do you think you're free by law, like the falling of apples in autumn? You thought you were safe in your liberties. You thought you could always quibble. You can't. Take my word for it. Freedom's the rarest bird. You risk your neck to snare it. It's gone while your eyeballs stare. Those who lodged with a tyrant, thinking to feed at his fire and leave him again when their fade are gone. Plain fools, or were bred to it. Brood of the servile races, born with the hang-dog face.
They're all pointing and pushing together. The women are shouldering baskets, bread, children. They smell smoke in the air. They smell terror.
There's nothing in this world worse, empty belly or purse, or the pitiful hunger of children, than doing the strong man's will. The free will fight for their freedom. They're free men first. They feed meager of fat but as free men. Everything else comes after. Food, roof, craft, even the sky and the light of it.
The sun is yellow as smoke. The town's burning. The war is at the broken bridge.
You! Are you free? Will you fight? There are still inches for fighting. There is still a niche in the streets. You can stand on the stairs and meet him. You can hold in the dark of the hall. You can die. Or your children will crawl for it.
They won't listen. They're shouting and screaming and circling. The square is full of deserters with more coming. Every street from the bridge is full of deserters. They're rolling in with the smoke blowing behind them. The plaza is choked with the smoke and the struggling of stragglers. They're climbing the platform, driving the ministers, shouting. One speaks and another.
The city is doomed. There is no holding it. Let the conqueror have it. It's his. The age is his. It is his century. He's one man, but we are but thousands. Who can defend us from one man? Bury your arms. Break your standards. Give him the town while the town stands.
They're throwing their arms away. Their boughs are in bonfires. The plaza is littered with torn plums, spear handles.
Masterless men must take a master. Order must master us. Freedom's for fools. Force is the certainty. Freedom has eaten our strength and corrupted our virtues. Men must be ruled. Fools must be mastered. Rigor and fast will restore us our dignity. Chains will be liberty.
The last defenders are coming. They whirl from the streets like wild leaves on a wind. The square scatters them. Now they are fewer, 10 together or 5. They come with their heads turned, their eyes back. Now there are none. The street's empty, in shadow. The crowd is retreating, watching the empty street. The shouts die. The voices are silent. They're watching. They stand in the slant of the sunlight, silent and watching. The silence after the drums echo the drum beat. Now there's a sound. They see him. They must see him. They're shading their eyes from the sun. There's a rustle of whispering. We can't see for the glare of it. Yes, yes, He's there in the end of the street in the shadow. We see him. He looks huge, a head taller than anyone. Broad as a brass door, a hard hero. Heavy of heel on the brick, clanking with metal, the helm closed on his head, the eye holes hollow. He's coming! He's clear of the shadow. The sun takes him. They cover their faces with fingers. They cower before him. They fall. They sprawl on the stone. He's alone where he's walking. He marches with rattle of metal. He tramples his shadow. He mounts by the pyramid, stamps on the doorway, turns. His arm rises. His visor is opening. There's no one. There's no one at all. No one. The helmet is hollow. The metal is empty. The armor is empty. I tell you, there's no one at all there. There's only the metal, the barrel of metal, the bundle of armor. It's empty. They don't see. They lie in the sunlight. They lie in the burnt spears. The ashes of arrows, they lie there. They don't see or they won't see. They are silent. The people invent their oppressors. They wish to believe in them. They wish to be free of their freedom. Released from their liberty. The long labor of liberty ended. They lie there. Look, it's his arm. It is rising. His arm's rising. They're watching his arm as it rises. The stir. They cry. They cry out. They are shouting. They're shouting with happiness. Listen. They're shouting like troops in a victory. Listen.
The city of masterless men has found a master!
You'd say it was their conquerors, that they that had conquered. The city has fallen.
I think we did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was The Fall of the City as performed by Columbia City High School students. Good job, team! Woo! We're going to go around now and just say who we are and the parts that we played, if we can remember them. I'm Mr. Glaza, of course, teacher. And there's our interruption by the bell. 2 minutes, guys. You hang out for 2 minutes.
Again, all students who have parent pickup, please exit the building at door 1.
All right, let's go around and just introduce everybody in the play. You guys did great. Let's start here and go this way.
Okay. My name's Hannah Hoffman. I was the crowd and the single voice and the loud voice.
My name is Jillian Pettigrew. I played the second messenger.
My name is Liberty Nelson, and I was the dead woman and the orator.
My name's Courtney Johnson. I was the announcer.
My name is Rebecca Boyd, and I was the messenger.
And I am Chance Geiger, and I played the priest.
Wonderful job, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. We had fun, and I'm sad to see the semester ending, but it was a good class. So congratulations to you guys. I look forward to more in the future. Woo!